Okay, I'm just going to get you to say and spell your name for me.
All right, Isaac Thompson, ISAACTHOMPSON.
And what's your exact title here at FISC?
Outreach Coordinator and STEM Education Director. Okay, the program started in 2003, and basically I always say that they started as they were born out of frustration. And I had a couple of conversations in the parking lot of middle school with a parent of 5 boys, and she was trying to find something for her boys to do. I had a little bit of time that summer, so between the two of us, we crafted a program for that particular summer. We started with 22 boys, and we wanted it to be about math and science. We wanted it to be about the areas where our kids were having the most trouble, where parents were having the most frustration, and where their opportunities were the most prevalent. So we started that summer, had a 10-week summer. You get that, 10-week summer. Now we can't do that because of how the school calendar is. But we worked for 10 weeks, and out of those 22 boys, all but 2 of them have graduated college. So that was now 16 summers ago. Thrust program is to harness, retain, understand, sustain, and teach. And we're actually trying to shift their performance. Our motto, our tagline is shifting the paradigm of performance for our youth. And we really wanted to do that in terms of catching them where they were and moving them to where they need to be. Most of that had to do with preparing them, from that summer to the school year that they were going to. So we wanted to expose them to STEM opportunities and STEM disciplines. We wanted to make sure that they were prepared for critical thinking, problem solving, give them success tools such as organization, time management, note taking, scheduling, that kind of thing, so that they would be more prepared for success in school. After the first year, I would get the question all the time, I see you working with boys, you have a daughter, my daughter Kayla, and the question would be, what are you doing for her? And my answer was always working with the boys. And so in that questioning, it became apparent that we needed something also for the girls. So in year 2, we started the Gusto program. Mainly they were classmates, sisters, friends of the families of the parents from the first cohort. And so the second year, I think we had 18 kids in Gusto, and Thrust went from 22 to probably 36 the next year. Because after Gusto, several years later, we were constantly getting questions about the younger kids. Gusto and Thrust start at the 5th grade and they go through the 12th grade in high school. And then we stay with them beyond. But a lot of parents had K through 4 kids and didn't have anything for them to do. And so PCSI, which is Pre-College Science Institute, it started about 6 years ago now. And it was to be able to catch some of the students that were brothers and sisters of our current Gusto and Thrust students. And what it's become is probably our largest program by numbers. And it's given us somewhat of a feeder program to the Thrust and Gusto programs. This year, Verizon, we were able to garner a grant from them. And it's a 2-year grant for innovative learning program for minority males in middle schools. What that is to expose them to are STEM topics such as 3D printing, virtual reality, augmented reality, design thinking, coding. And those are the areas where we think the jobs will be in the future. So preparing that cohort, that demographic of students for success in the fields where they may have the biggest and best opportunities for success in their professional lives later was a big coup for us, and it's a big effort on Verizon's part to be able to invest in the lives of these young people. FISC has been stellar, I think, over the years and historically in this community. I came up in this community. I spent a lot of summers and Sundays on this FISC campus playing football with the then students. I was one of these kids. This was my neighborhood. And so I think FISC has always provided a backdrop for what college life is, for what professional black life is. And I wanted to do the same thing. So now what we have between the 4 programs we have, and including pre-college and mini-college, we had over 250 kids here this summer. Some of our kids in all programs wind up at FISC. Our current Mr. FISC, Alan Christian, came out of our program. We've had several of our counselors who are current students here at FISC, and several of them that have gone and graduated and gone on to professional life. So we're very proud of what they've done. We're very proud of their accomplishments. They make me look good. And hopefully we, as a set of programs, a family of programs, are making FISC look good. I think the academic world here in Nashville is that jewel that all citizens, that all of the community-based programs, that families can always point to. It's that central point. You always know how to navigate by, you know what Fisk University is, or Meharry, or TSU. It's a safe haven, and should be. It is that mecca for education and understanding and getting answers. We're asked questions that have nothing to do sometimes with education, but just because we're Fisk, and just because we represent a university in academia, people assume we know. And that gives us a foray into the lives of the people in this community that allows us to touch them and to interact with them in ways that are positive and impactful for this community. We don't operate in this neighborhood in a vacuum. We're neighbors. We're part of the community, and people need to understand that this is a piece of this community that they can be proud of. It's a part of the city that has participated in the growth on all levels and has historically. And we are hoping that as Nashville changes, as Nashville grows, as the technology needs change and grow, that we're changing with them, and that we're rising up our next generation of students so that they can take full advantage of all the opportunities and full part in their contribution to the upbuilding of the city and to the world at large. First, it's about how we treat them. You know, I told you before that we're a family, and one of our mottos is once a thruster, always a thruster, and that is prevalent across all programs. I think we teach the things that parents want taught to their kids. I think we built a set of resources and a net that kids can go to for help, be that at any level, professional, paraprofessional, collegiate, high school, and those incidentally are our levels of counsel within our programs. We have provided the first summer program for a lot of the kids because they've come through our program, they've been developed as leaders, we get them in the counselor training program, and then they become counselors. And a lot of them throughout their college years stayed with our program, and it's been an internship for some, it's It's been an ongoing initiative in the summer for others. Most of the programs now are the leadership of some of those are coming from past participants, from past counselors, and so they understand and they've bought into the philosophies of all of these programs. For these programs, for one, we have two rules. The number one rule is respect. Respect for yourselves, respect for each other, respect for the leadership, respect for the air you breathe and the space you take up. And so once you have respect for all of those things, it sort of takes care of a lot of the issues that maybe some schools have, maybe some families have, maybe some programs have. And number two is you learn the rules and play the game. Almost any scenario you're in has a set of rules all its own. And if you don't learn those rules, then you're playing a different game than everybody else is playing. And you can't win. So once you apprise yourself with the rules of that particular game that you're playing, now you can compete. And that's what we want for our kids. We want them to compete at every level, at everything. And we want them to win on a lot of those things. Success is not always guaranteed. Winning is not always guaranteed. But we're also trying to arm our children with the ability to handle failure and to gain the lessons that are learned by failure. Because you and I both know that you probably learn more when you fail than when you actually succeed. So we want our kids to be strong enough to handle that, regroup, and come back again. We're not raising a generation of quitters. We're raising a generation of people who succeed and achieve. I think that at our levels and in all annals of our history, it's been about what you can do to raise this community. Those obligations, those responsibilities never ever change. We need an army of people to help undergird the needs of this community, and the needs of this community begin and end with the children of this community, because they're going to wind up being the responsible, contributing citizens of this community and this city, and hopefully the world at large, for years to come. They're our future. And if we don't invest in them, what are we really doing? With our time, with our efforts, with our treasures, with our facilities, we're, as a whole, we are, I think, tasked and challenged to make sure that we are coming together to make sure that they have what they need to carry this thing out well after we're gone. Here at Fisk, probably one of the first classes they have to take is service learning. It's Core 100. And what we're trying to do is establish and plant a seed in them that they're not just here for themselves, they're here for the upbuilding and the better making of this world. They are tasked to engage with different volunteer and philanthropic efforts and aspects. And from that point, through their affiliations, through their scholarships, there are mandates from coming in to going out with engagement with the community. A lot of them just do it because they really want, they see the benefit, they see the results, and they want to be a part of something successful, bigger than them. We've had students, and typically have students, that start with us as freshmen, and they never leave. And those are always the greatest relationships that are built through just their hearts, just their integrity, just their want and need to be a part of something great. They establish relationships of their own with the children in our program, and have been outstanding mentors, outstanding examples of how to do and what to do and when to do. Because honestly, Some of the kids never see themselves being my age, right? But they do see themselves being the age of a college freshman or college sophomore, and they speak the language. So I pour into the college students so that they can pour into the kids that are lower to them. And we've had a plethora of parents and teachers here in Metro and community partners such as Assurion and Deloitte, Verizon now, Fisk, Spruce Street Church, others in the community, Metro Action Commission, Metro Development Housing Authority over the time, different smaller branches, Vineyard Images, Hubbard Media, Miles Education Services. And I could go on and on with the people that have seen the vision, know that it's good ground, and just want to help in this effort. Our kids are a major part at the Fisk level because, again, they're the doorway into not just college, but Fisk at some time. We've had several of our students who've become Fiskites. That is not our primary goal. Our primary goal is to make sure that they're going into college, right? And we're at right around 98%, a little over 98% of the students that were eligible to graduate high school have graduated. Of those, about 93% of them have gone on to 2 or 4 year programs or to the military. Of that group, probably 27 to 30% have gone on into STEM majors, and the national average is probably down under 10 for that. So we feel good about what we're doing, exposing them to things that they can latch on to, pathways that they can channel their energies and efforts, ways that they can use their creativity and their intellect to do good things for themselves and, again, their community going forward. Proud to say that many of the ones that have come through this program are now in professions all of their own. Most recently, we just had one to graduate from the Firefighters Academy right here in Nashville. And so we're really proud of what our kids have done. And I keep saying that, and I try to take the spotlight off of myself because they make me look good. Everything that this program has become is because of the people that have been in the program and around the program and understand that there's a need for this program. And again, can't say enough and be thankful enough for Fisk University for years ago buying into the vision. And have to mention Dr. Lauren Collins, who early in this process, when this program was off campus, when it first started, understood the need and brought us on. And almost every professor here on this campus at some point in time has been drafted to come in and talk to the kids, and without hesitation they've done it. We've had college presidents to come in and talk to our kids on a regular. And most recently, Dr. Rome has done that and absolutely has been a supporter of this program and anything we've tried to do. So we appreciate that and appreciate the commitment and the support that we've had from the administration and from Fisk as a whole.
What about your relationship with Metro Nashville schools, principals, and that's part one. Part two would be your upcoming science club part.
Thanks very much. We have had an awesome relationship with the schools in this community. We have working relationships with many of the principals. Our kids have come from a lot of the schools in Nashville, and once they know what's going on with these programs, they're more than willing to help and support us in any way they possibly can. Head School, MLK, John Early, Rose Park, F.H. Jenkins. We've done things with all of those schools, and we'll continue to do those things in the fall. LEAD is another one where we have one of our counselors who's actually a teacher there now. And in those schools, through the Verizon program that I mentioned earlier, we will place science clubs in each one of those schools to partner with their program and connect with the STEM disciplines that we spoke about earlier. And then we will also host them once a month here on the Fisk campus. So that's something that has gone from a summer program and a summer relationship throughout the school and academic year, and hopefully into the next summer and on into the following year. Over time, through that initiative, we hope to engage over the next couple of years 200 students directly related to this program and directly related to the teachings and the training that's associated with, and the exposure that's associated with 3D printing, coding, virtual and augmented reality, design thinking, vinyl cutting, rocketry, robotics, any way that we can kind of get that message out to the kids, engage them, and expose them to the marvels of science and math. That's what we're going to do. And we're hoping that anyone who sees this, who recognizes the need and the vision, will feel free to join us in this effort. We can use all the help we can get. And we're going to be here. And we want to involve ourselves in your children's lives. We want to be a beacon for their success, and we want to be a pathway for them to come in and get the answers that they're looking for. And they are looking for answers, and they're going to get them, whether they get them from us or somewhere else. I prefer they get them from us.
How do parents sign their kids up? How do they get that information? Okay. Where do they get the information from?
We have so many different ways, and I'd say the first way is typically referrals from other parents and people that have been involved in this program over the years. That's always been our best and easiest way to get to us. But certainly we have the website, www.fisk.edu, and just type in the search committee for summer programs, and all of our programs will come up. And I mentioned a couple of others as well, mini college and the pre-college program. They're all designed for the same thing. And a lot of people say that they have K through 4 or 5 through 8 or 8 through 12 program. I think that collectively we have a wraparound approach to it. So I say we have a K through 16 program, because once they get here, we also don't let them go. We're here as a resource for them. We want to be here for mentorship. We want to be here as a guide. We want to be here when they have rough days. We want to be here for their best days as well. And so we're hoping that the best days far outnumber the bad ones. But our goal is to be here for them, to support them in all their glory and their sadnesses. So we're here. We're trying to create a mechanism where they can come in any form they are and leave here a Fisk product. Some of the programs do cost. The Thrust, Gusto, and PCSI programs, they all cost. We try to keep that very, very minimal. It's based on the amount of participation we have and the number of activities that we do. So we'll work with that going into each year. We've not varied on the cost very much in the last 16 years, and we're probably a little under where we need to be. But none of these programs were created to keep a child out because of their ability to pay. Mm-hmm. The Verizon program through the school year is a free program, and we'll operate with them throughout the school year. They will present in next May, and they'll also have the the opportunity to join us in the summer in that arena. The pre-college program is set up such that the incoming freshmen can also get college credits, so that will cost, but they come out of the summer well ahead of their incoming classmates. So we're hoping to do that. That's a long-standing program. Ms. Pat McCarroll started that many years ago. We resurrected it after a couple of years. This year we had a stellar group of students that came in and participated with us, and we are looking for big things from them. The mini college program, Beth House, who is Fisk royalty here, started that many years ago, and upon her death, Miss Persephone Felder-Fentress took that over, and it is moving and growing every year. We work very well together during the summer. There's a kind of a symbiotic relationship with us where we share resources and trips even. So that makes for a better experience. It makes for a better exchange of information. It makes for a better sharing of opportunities for parents, because if your child is more interested in, say, cultural, we may recommend our students to that program. If they're more interested in STEM, she recommends them to our program. So we're trying to get the kids where they will have the best success and the best opportunity for success. And again, we try to meet them where they